Woo! Going on, everybody. James Willis, you're the only one in the building, bro. You're the only one in the building, man. Oh, Mike and Mike.
I'm in the building.
What's going on, buddy?
I'm in the building. Oh, man, I had no idea, bro. I thought it was 7 o'clock, so I'm jumping in right now for you.
No, but thanks, man. I appreciate it, man. Just change it because, you know, what you told me earlier, so.
Yeah. You know how that goes, man. You know how that goes.
It happens, right? So.
It happens.
Yeah, man. I didn't write too much stuff down today, man. I got a couple things here, but we don't got nobody even inside here. So
just go with the flow, bro.
Go
with the flow, my guy.
Yeah, man. So, well, what are you thinking about that Penei Sewell, him coming out saying that he's having a tough time adjusting to the right tackle spot? And I see a lot of Lions fans, man, are starting to freak, man. SOL, calling him a bust already.
Come on.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, you know how they are, brother. You know how it is, right? You know how it is.
Let's be honest. Let's be honest, and it's the same old Lions. He can come out and say, "Yeah, I know it perfectly." Yeah, the veterans are gonna believe that. He's a rook, man. Good, great. He'll be fine at the right tackle position. Him struggling is the first days of OTAs. Come on, man.
He hasn't even been here 10 minutes, man. He hasn't even been here 10 minutes, and people are freaking. I'm serious, bro. All over social media, man, tripping out, saying SOL. I'm going to do a video on it. I'm just about to drop a video on it.
Do it.
Either I'm going to do it today, or I got it all written out.
Cut this bad boy out and make it a video.
I'm gonna, man. I just want to tell people, man. It's like this has been done. This has been done in the past. It's not like. It's not a Detroit Lions thing. It's like the Browns did it with Jedrick Wills, Conklin, the Tennessee Titans. They did it with him back in the day when he was a left tackle at Michigan State. They moved him over to right tackle. It's been done. Like, you know what I mean? It's like he says one thing and all of a sudden, boom, he's a bust, man. Travis Doyley, thanks, brother, for the $5 super chat. Let's go. Can I get a one pride? One pride, brother. Yeah, man.
Hey, I need to see you on OPP, Travis Doyley. You need to come on over, man. We need to have you.
Got him.
Hey, when we look at these people freaking out, come on, man. This happens to nearly, I'd say, a lot of left tackles that get drafted. They go to the right side. A lot of them. Taylor Decker was kind of a one that didn't, but my God, I mean, it happens to, I'd probably say 80% of them. I mean, it's that high. It's not the same, and it's going to take a little bit of time. They are rookies, and they're going from one position to the next. He will be fine. When week 1 starts, Penei Sewell will be fine, and his struggling would be most people's would wish they would have a struggling Penei Sewell on their team. That's how good he is.
For sure, and like this regime knew what they were doing when they drafted him. They knew they had a top 10, top 12 left tackle over there in Taylor Decker. You're not moving the guy. You're not going to move him right now for a rookie, even though how good you think Sewell's going to be. You don't need to. There's no need to make Jared Goff, for one, feel pretty uncomfortable. I would think he would feel just a bit uncomfortable moving his blindside left tackle to the right side and putting a rookie in there, even though how good Sewell's supposed to be. You can't start doing that right now. Like, if Sewell becomes some kind of train wreck at right tackle, then we can start talking. You know what I mean? But
that's not going to happen.
June 1st. It's June 1st. OTAs just started. Or what, 2 weeks in OTAs, whatever it's called. And people are freaking. We can't be freaking out about this, man. So let's go.
One Pride Podcast.
Bro. One Pride Podcast, Travis Doyley.
That's Thursday on my channel at 6:30 p.m. EST.
Thursday, Mike on Mike's channel, man. 6:30 p.m. Be there or be square. What's going on? One Pride 40. How's it going? Tim Monroe. What's up, guys? How you doing, buddy?
How many times have we heard a offensive lineman get drafted very high, and they're not even starting in OTAs? In training camp, they're not even starting. They're backups, and it takes time to earn that spot. Generally, by week 1, they're the starter. They threw him immediately at the starting position. There's your sign. There's your sign right there.
There's your sign. He's the guy. We already know who's going to be the right tackle. He said, hey, man, there's going to be some hiccups down the road. Okay, that's just part of the game, man. That's part of the process. There's going to be hiccups, man. And I know he kind of freaked people out when he kind of said, it's like learning. He goes, it's like being right-handed and learning how to write again with your left hand and really fast. So that freaked people out, man. He was like, oh, so it makes it sound more dramatic than it is. The kid is a monster. He's played right tackle in the past. It was high school, but you got to remember the kid was only 20. He's only 20 right now, so he was playing right tackle 3-4 years ago. So it's not like he doesn't know what he's doing.
It's like people want to hear all nothing but good. That's not the case. It's not going to happen. The Detroit Lions are not all but good. I mean, you're going to have ups and you're going to have downs. And that's important to understand and be fair and balanced. Do you want him to lie and say, hey, I know it completely right now? No, I want him to tell the truth and be honest. That is what this regime is about. We're very honest. We're very open, very transparent. I like it.
$5 super chat from Travis Doyle again, brother. I will try, but I'm normally at work at the time. Nowadays, I'm back to work 14-hour shifts. Holy cow. 6 days a week. Attaboy, man. All right, man. Thank you, Travis Doyle. Try to make it, brother. We appreciate you, man. Cap Ice Cold has a good. Was he supposed to say it's easy? Just like you said, Mike. He was being humble and saying the transition from college to pros is not the same. And it's exactly what Mike said, Cap. It's the same thing, man. It's not going to be easy. He's got to learn a little bit, man. It's all about different hand punch, different timing. He'll get it down, man. If he's as good as they say he is, and we all think he is, that's going to be not a problem, man. So I'm okay with him having a little bit of a struggle, and you don't want him to lie, man. And all of a sudden he tells everybody he's awesome. He's great. Then all of a sudden he looks like a train wreck out there. At least he's being humble, and he's saying, hey, man, I got to learn some stuff. And, he's not
Lakin Tomlinson. Don't worry about it.
He's not Lakin Tomlinson. Lakin Tomlinson ended up being good, though, when he left here.
Just not here.
Just not here, man.
Linda, what's
going
up,
on, Linda? How's it going? How you doing, Linda?
Lions, the Goat Lions. What's going on, Goat Lions?
Go Lions. What's up, brother? How you doing? What up, though, bro? Cal, Sewell is lying. He and the Lions already know he's ready for right tackle. That message was for the rest of the league to even more doubt Lions. Hey, I like that, Cal. I like that. I like where you're coming from on that one, brother. Orlando Brown, yeah, he was another one Pride 40. Yeah, he was another one that did it. Orlando Brown did it with the Ravens. Had to move over to right tackle because he was a left tackle at Oklahoma. Then he eventually got moved back to left tackle because of injuries, and then now he's the left tackle for the Chiefs. So, but yes, he's done the move too. There's a ton of moves there's a ton of players that have done it, and I'm gonna come up with my video probably tomorrow. I got it all written out today, and I'm going to explain some guys that have done it in the past, man. It's not just one or two of them, man. There's quite a bit of them that have done it. So on to the next one, brother. I did write some stuff down. Belichick. Did you hear that? Belichick is grooming Matt Patricia to be the next coach to be the New England Patriots. I'm not buying it. What do you think?
Antonio Hightower's in the back.
Oh, is he? Oh, I didn't see him. Sorry, bro.
What's up, buddy?
What's going on? How are you, buddy?
I didn't know it was 6:30. I was in the bathroom. I was like, oh man, hold on, let me hurry up.
Yeah.
That's on me, brother. That's on me. I changed it up, man. I had it for 7, and then I changed it to 6:30.
I like 6:30 though, man.
Right 6:30 is not bad. Yeah, you know what? I might start doing it at 6:30 too on Tuesday. So I might start doing that as well. But we're talking about, hey man, what's your remarks about Penei Sewell apparently struggling at right tackle? Everyone's freaking out in Lions land, bro.
Well,
what do you think?
I kind of said this coming out the draft. I was like, you know what? Sewell might have a little bit more of a struggle coming out. I mean, he didn't play in a traditional offense. He only played for 2 years. He switched to right tackle, which isn't a huge thing, but when you add on his lack of experience and his kind of need to improve his technique, it all came together. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised what he said. Well, I shouldn't say I wasn't surprised what he said. I'm surprised he said it, but I wasn't mad that he said it.
Right.
I don't want him to come out and go, oh, yeah, man, this is so easy. And then he come out and struggle. And we're like, but you just said it was easy. Like, look at Ebron, for example. He came in arrogant, like he knew everything. And then he realized, oh, wait, the NFL is a different animal. Came back second year with a new mentality, but everybody still got that bad taste in his mouth from when you first came in, right? Yeah. So at least be honest about it. I'm not surprised they struggling. I expect them to struggle a little bit. I think he's going to improve over the season. offensive line is a position that usually takes years to develop. Not everybody don't usually come out like a guy like Taylor Decker or these recent left tackles. They just come out of the gate amazing. Sometimes it takes a little bit while to turn it up. So I'm not surprised that he said it. I'm not mad. I don't need him to be great this year. I need him to be great for the future. This year, that's what I'm worried about.
100%, man. That's a good one there, Tone. What do you guys think about the Bill Belichick? So apparently grooming Matt Patricia to become the next Patriots head coach, man. I don't know if I'm buying this, man. Mike, what do you think about that, man?
First up, what's up, Haters House? Art Ellen, Patty Grimes, James Willis, Cap Ice Cold. Welcome. Kel as well. There is no way this can be legitimately true. Matt, unless it is a 4D chess move where Bill Belichick wants to go down as the greatest coach of all time, so his successor is the worst coach of all time. And you're seeing like a big changing of the scales here. I think that could be it. But if this is legitimate, I'm sorry, Patriot fans. You're in for a world of hurt. Like, you've had such a great success the last 20 years, but now, welcome to our world.
Exactly, man. Antonio, what do you think about so apparently Bill Belichick possibly grooming Matt Patricia to be the new Patriots head coach in the future?
Let me just say, wow. That is surprising.
Well, it's not coming from him. It's not coming from his mouth or anything like that, but that's the speculation.
Who's the Patriots offensive coordinator again?
It's the little dude, McDaniels, isn't it?
McDaniels, yeah.
Yep, McDaniels. And I remember hearing when he came back to New England, because apparently he was supposed to get a head coach job. He came into New England. He came back because most people were saying that Belichick probably was going to have him set up as the next head coach. So if that was true, I'd be sick right now to hearing that news.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting, though. It really would be interesting. I think it could be a good move, but it would. Because the problem with Patricia is he was too stuck. He tried to be Belichick, and I don't know if Belichick can fix that. Patricia's problem was he tried too much to be Belichick and tried too much to be the system and just use what he knew worked.
Right.
What he thought he's like, well, it's going to work eventually. I'm like, one of the biggest things you did was switching it up. For example, like the Rams game when we played the Rams, switched it up. So you know what? We're just going to tell the linebackers tonight, bottom play action. It seemed like an easy transition, but not everybody can do that. Not everybody had the personnel to do it. And the New England Patriots copied that scheme. The problem was game plans like that was too far and in between. He just kind of showed the same stuff. And I don't know if Belichick can fix that. You know, because I think the biggest problem with a lot of New England DCs in particular is they try too hard to do it how Belichick did it.
Right.
Who's the guy in Miami? I forget his name.
Brian Flores?
Yeah, he's the aberration there.
Flores is the perfect example of a guy who is trying to get away from the puzzle. Like drafting Jalen Phillips. The Patriots don't draft pass rushers in the first round. He said, well, he's like, I'm running the Patriots defense, but I'm not going to run it exactly like Bill. But you got to switch it up. And I don't know if Belichick can help Patricia with that. And if anybody should be set up, it probably should be Josh McDaniels.
Yeah, I hear you. I absolutely hear you, brother. Travis Doyle with a $5 super chat. Are there any free agency potentially you see the Lions signing? I was kind of myself. I was kind of hoping they were going to maybe take a look at Malik Hooker, the safety. I think we're really weak there. But the latest I heard about him is that he's interested in going to Dallas. So that's what I heard about him. As for anybody else, I haven't really been paying attention to anybody on the offensive side of the ball. Really, Melvin Ingram's kind of interesting, maybe on the defensive side of the ball too, as well, at defensive end. But I think we're starting to get a little bit better there at D-line. So I don't know, man. Mike, what do you say?
Who I want or who I think? Who I think would be Todd Gurley. I think that would be probably the guy that they're going to sign. I've been just kind of just sitting there waiting. Is it going to happen? Who knows? Anyone else of name? I don't think so. I think they're rolling with this crew at the safety position. I'd love to have Malik Hooker, but right now when I think of Will Harris, I think of that's what I think of, man. And so hopefully they could upgrade that position, but man, I'm not thinking so. Tone, what do you think, man?
Yeah.
I personally would like to see Malik Hooker.
Same here.
Although, and it's really just to get talent in there. Because honestly, in terms of him and Harris kind of do similar things. They excel in different ways, though. Harris is kind of more like a hybrid safety. He's more like a cornerback playing safety, while Malik Hooker is kind of more of a traditional single high free safety, even though they can both do both roles. He would probably be one. I'd be kind of interested in seeing a guy like Trey Turner, because he's young. Personally, I want at guard. I really don't want Vaitai to start the year there, to be honest. And it's not really even about him. It's really just an age thing. Because when we talk about O-line, the one thing we never talk about with O-line is how much O-line's kind of like a team within a team. You kind of had to be on the same page as the person next to you and everybody else around you, to a point where you can pretty much, if you know, I can go off, he's gonna know exactly what to do. You kind of got to be able to talk without talking. You got to know what each other. And one of the way you're going to do that is keeping the same guys together. The Lions haven't really did that. Last year it was what? Crosby's out. Vaitai's probably going to be out next year. Right?
Yeah.
You keep switching it up, and it's been working. But, a lot of the top O-line, they kind of stay together, like the Packers, the 49ers, the Raiders. They might switch out a guy or maybe two, but it's generally the same core, right? And that's one.
You're looking for a continuity, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You're looking for continuity. Yeah,
like it's probably going to be Ragnow, Jonah, Decker, Sewell. So I just want a guard who I know who's going to be there for a few years that can just gel with these guys.
Absolutely, man. That's for sure. What's Cap Ice Cold here saying, after today, the contracts are even lighter with no guarantee, right? Yes, they are. After June 1st, the load starts getting a little bit lighter there. So that's good. And you might see some guys some players getting released and maybe signed. Who knows, right, Mike?
Yeah, 100%. This is now where the contracts get easier for teams and they don't have to play around with ridiculousness regarding contract. Hold on one second. I hear my kids.
That's all good. Okay, Tone, man. What do you think about? I don't think we talked about this yet. We might have, but what do you think about the Todd Gurley situation? Would you like to see him in Detroit?
I would not.
No.
I'm not on the board of bringing in anybody who's not a young player. Right. If you're gonna
26, it's only 26.
26 ain't super young, and you already drafted running back. You got Jamal Williams. You got Swift. Mm-hmm. I'm just rolling with that for now. I'm trying to see what they can do. Honestly, what can they do? I don't really need to see what Todd Gurley can do. I know what I'm gonna get from Todd Gurley. I'm trying to see what Swift's gonna look like behind this line, what Jamal Williams gonna look like behind this line, and the other guy, Jefferson, I think his name, Jamar Jefferson. I'm trying to see how they're gonna look, and I don't need Swift in there. I mean, I don't need Gurley in there just taking a reps, especially because he's probably not even going to be here the next year. Most likely. He most likely wouldn't be here the next year, right? I'm just not on board of taking older guys, especially at a position that's not really a need. If he was, like, for example, we were talking about Trey Turner. He's 27. We don't really have a right guard that's in place. Okay, we can do that. Malik Hooker, he's not super young, but he's not really old, and we don't really have a safety that you could say, yeah, that's our guy, right? But at running back, we just drafted Swift, picked up Williams, and we drafted Jamar Jefferson. At the moment, I'm not really looking for that. I'm not looking at the running back position.
We could trade for Kerryon Johnson. He's with the Philadelphia Eagles.
Let's get him. Get him on the roster. Well, what are you thinking about the Todd Gurley situation, Mike? Like, what's your? I would
like to sign him because I think he'd be a third down guy. I'm not using this dude, to really do the number one, number two, but he's a big body, and I love the concept of running the football. And this would be a nail in the coffin that this team is turning the corner from a pass happy team to a running football team. And I want a running football team. I've been wanting a team like this for some time, and we've seen glimpses. If we heard that this team is finally going to run, but it has not happened in 12 years. Yeah. I just want to see it, man. Like, can we have a team that runs? Can we focus on the running game at some point? And I love the guys that we got. But for a 3rd and 1, a 3rd and 2, I would not mind that.
Yeah, that's how I'm kind of looking at the Gurley situation. If they bring him in, he's not coming here to be the lead dog. I don't think he's even coming here to be the number 2. I think it's more of a Jamar Jefferson thing. Maybe they're not as comfortable with Jamar Jefferson being that number 3. He's only 21. He was a 7th-round draft pick. Might not want him in there right away, man. And I think he could benefit off of a Todd Gurley coming here. And it would be on a 1-year deal. It wouldn't break the bank. He'd be about, what, $3 million, $4 million or something, whatever he would cost. He didn't make that much money in Atlanta last year, and he was the lead dog there. I think he made like $5.5 million or whatever it was. He would even, I don't think he might even make half that here. So I don't think it'd be a bad situation, man, because like Mike said, we want to run the football. What better yet to have 3 guys that can actually do it? You know what I mean? He's not going to take a lot of carries away from our top 2 guys. So I think it'd be a nice situation, and you can get him cheap. But I understand some people just don't want him here because he's got no knees. I do get that. Gurley's knees, man, from Armac right there. I totally get it. But he's not being the lead dog, so I don't think he would hurt. So
last year he played in 15 games for 678 yards and the best stat of all, 9 touchdowns. So we can get touchdowns when you want it. So if we're at 3rd and goal at the 2, hand it off to Todd Gurley. We don't have to do a pass. What I'm tired of is when it's 3rd down and 1, 3rd and 2, and we're passing the football. That's not necessary. We should be able to run the football. And if you got a big guy, it gives more the odds, in my opinion, to get that done. And I'm not saying it's going to happen. But, I mean, last year he played in 15 games. The stats weren't that bad. And I like 9 touchdowns. So if you can get him on the cheap and a 3rd down back, and it's not like team players are going to be healthy throughout the season, you're going to have injuries. The last thing you want to have is you lose Jamal Williams and then you don't have – all you have is Jamar Jefferson or Swift goes down. If you have another guy, you're not too worried about that.
Exactly. So, and I think there's a stat out there too about Todd Gurley about being one of the best red zone runners the past few years. Even though his numbers have declined, he gets in the end zone, like we said. And I don't think it'd be a bad situation, man. It'd be another vet in the room. It's a very young running back room with Jamal Williams, and no knock on Jamal Williams, but he don't look like the type of guy that's really that kind of leader guy. He's more of that goofy kind of goofy kid. You know what I mean? Todd Gurley might kind of come in and be that vet that you kind of need, even though he's only 26, 27 years old.
Okay, so here's my thing about this, though. If we want a backup who could be a vet and a leader, why not get a guy like Frank Gore or Adrian Peterson, LaShawn McCoy? These guys are still out there in free agency that we forget about. Le'Veon Bell. And most of these guys are probably going to be, maybe not Le'Veon. Most of these guys
you don't want Le'Veon Bell in this.
But they're already familiar with Todd Gurley. They're already he was with Brad Holm and he was with Jared Goff, so there's a familiarity with each other.
But like the team isn't really familiar with him. So I'm like, at this point, it doesn't. If the goal is a backup who can be a veteran presence, we can get AP. AP worked last year. He even told the coaching staff, "I don't know why Swift ain't started." So he's going to be honest, right? Gurley, I'm thinking Gurley's probably going to be looking for opportunity at this point, maybe to try to get his career back on track. Maybe a position where he can show himself to earn some more money. I don't know where AP just be going wherever he want to go. I feel like if your goal is I want to back up our running back room, you don't want a guy to get injured, which there's going to be tons. If your running back room gets injured, there's tons of guys we can sign off the street that can step in at running back. It's a replaceable position at a certain point, right? And if it's for veteran leadership, there's veterans that we can go to in free agency.
I get it, man. If you guys got any questions in the chat, just hashtag it, man, and we'll try to get to it. Because I don't really have a lot written down today. Our cap situation is
pretty good because I seen Cy Gray and they were saying if we're going to spend money, I think we're number 3 best right now in the NFL with the remaining cap space. So I think we could sign a Gurley and more.
Yeah, I think we're at like 19 to 21 million or something like that.
Yeah,
so
something.
We still got to sign some more rookies, obviously, but I think we're okay right there, man.
Yeah, the big dog's already signed. Big
dog signed, yeah, man. So it's all peanuts from here on, if you actually look at that. So I don't think that would be a problem.
I got a question, Mark.
Yeah, go ahead, brother.
Now that it's after the first, because I've seen some stuff from Pride Detroit and others. Do you think the Lions will trade any players away? Because they talked about how potentially like a Jamie Collins or Vati Vaitai and a Trey Flowers. Do you think that's possible? I personally don't think so, but I've been seeing that as a conversation of the day because they can split the contract up. I just don't think it would be a smart move at that point. Avery Giovanni. Oh,
Avery Giovanni, brother, man. $9.99 super chat. Thank you a lot, brother. You too. Keep making dope content. Hope to work with you too soon. Absolutely, brother, man. Don't forget to subscribe to this man. Mm-hmm. He is a great YouTuber, man. He tells it like it is. Avery is the man. Thanks, Avery, man. I appreciate it, brother. But yeah, to your question, Mike, do we see him trading anybody? I know Tyrell Crosby was kind of was talked about being traded possibly. I seen the Jamie Collins. I haven't looked at Jamie Collins and I haven't seen his contract. Yeah. I haven't seen his contract too much of what it would look like if we did trade him, but I know it did. I know the load did probably lighten up now. It's going to be June 2nd. I don't see them getting rid of any linebackers, to tell you the truth. I don't think we can afford to do that. Maybe a Trey Flowers too, but I think he's a big dead cap hit as well. I think I'm in the same boat as you, bro. I don't really see it being done. I guess it could happen though, because Brian Holmes, man, he loves to be the gambler, and he's shown it in the past when he was with LA. So I guess you never know. Antonio, what do you think? You think we're going to make any moves, man, trade-wise?
Not at the moment. Crosby, I think Crosby could still go, even though I think it would have been smarter if you was going to trade Crosby and you knew Sewell fell to you. Why didn't you trade him on day one? Is my question. Before teams even get their tackles, but that's not something to talk about right now. Other than him, probably not. Maybe Jamie Collins, but the linebacker room is so thin, and we keep talking about veteran presence. He's a perfect example of a veteran presence. They've been talking about how they raving about his versatility. So clearly they like where he is right now. Maybe a guy like a Nick Williams. You know, the D-line room is kind of the D-tackle room. It isn't amazing, but it's deep with a bunch of decent guys, right? You got Levi coming in. You got Liam McNeil coming in. We be forgetting about what's the other guy? Ohio State guy, Coach Jashawn Cornell. He's coming back. We didn't get to see him, and we need and Nick Williams was kind of an older guy, you know, and you know, doesn't really bring much of a veteran presence. And if we're looking for that, then we got a guy like Trey Flowers and Romeo for that. I can see him getting traded, but everybody else, other than Crosby, unless a team really needs a right tackle, which I think a lot of times we forget that Crosby is an NFL caliber right tackle, and those guys do not grow on trees. That's why it's the reason why Sewell, Darisaw, Leatherwood, and Slater all win the first round. Exactly. Everybody's a desperate for anybody who's just not bad. That's why they keep kicking the bucket on Greg Robinson. Like, we know he's trash, but they just gonna cross our fingers. Hopefully he's just not as bad. I can see him maybe, but I think they just might keep him for now. Okay.
Jorge right here says Dolphins looking at Flowers. I don't know if you actually heard that, brother. I don't know if that's true. What do y'all think? Have you heard that, Mikey?
I have not heard that. That would be interesting. If it'd be one player, I guess it would be him. But the thing is the cap situation. I don't want to be killed next year. This year, it's like, okay, I could take the cap hit. I'm not too worried. But I don't want to throw cap to next year. I want this team to be building the right way. And you're probably not going to get too much for Flowers. I mean, it's not like you're going to get a first-round draft pick. So is the cap hit worth it? Probably not. When it comes to Jamie Collins, man, if you trade him, this linebacking core is gone because he is the only real stable piece, a decent piece in the linebacking. So if you trade him, you just there goes the middle. I mean, it's just it was a train wreck last year, and we cannot allow to have another train wreck even worse than last year this year. Because if you remove him, Jelani Tavai, Alex Anzalone, I mean, come on, man. Like, that's not good. We'd be in a lot of trouble.
We'd be in a lot of trouble, man, if that happened, man.
Although I do have to say this. The way I would personally go about it, if the Dolphins hit me up for Trey Flowers, I'd do it, But we got to split up some of this contract. Some of that signing bonus got to come off, so I don't get hit as much next year. Personally, I would love to see all the old players traded. Well, maybe not Jamie Collins, just because of the fact that this linebacker room is so young. But I'm at the point now where, what I said before, I really don't care what happens this year. What I'm looking for is how do our young players look and how do they develop? You know, I need to see how a guy like Deshaun Hand is going to come back. That guy, well, this is his last year in his contract, and if he's good, like he was in his first year, that's a big piece to have, and I would like to keep that. Right? I'm trying to see how guys like Julian are looking. You know, Austin Bryant. I'm trying to see how these young guys who either who weren't placed in the best situations or who were injured. Yeah, I want to see how they're looking. Honestly, don't really care about the veterans. They're who I'm worried about because our future rides on them, right? Yeah. And I need to know if I should invest resources on them or not. I don't want to be like, he played good in limited playing time. No, I want to know what he brings to the table. And honestly, I'd get rid of most of the old players, other than like certain guys like Vitae. His contract's too big, you know. I'd keep Collins just because of his veteran leadership. But like, if I can get rid of Trey Flowers, I mean, I'd do it because I'm at this point. I'm trying to see what the young guys give me, so let me know what I got to target next draft. Should I pour more resources in this place or this place? What are my biggest needs? Is he a trade piece? Should I keep him or not? That's what I'm really trying to find out. This year is a show me what you can do year, in my opinion, is what it should be. Now,
that's
next
exactly
year,
what this year
is. Next year and beyond is kind of a. Okay, now we can really start building this team because I know what I got now. And I'm at the moment, especially because even though I don't think everybody was held back by Patricia, I think in the scheme, like guys like I said, Hand, I would love to see how he does in a one gap scheme. I love to see how a guy like Cornell would do with his get off and everything. So I'm at the point where trade most of the veterans if you can get them off, like I just said, Nick Williams, Trey, but only while I'm doing Trey, you got to take out some of that contract, right? Because I'm not trying to take out that cap hit next year because while I don't care about my cap as much this year, I certainly care about it next year and the year beyond, right? But that's kind of where I'm at the moment.
Okay, Antonio Hightower, this is for you.
Yes. It's a good one, buddy.
Fire, man. I agree, though. If you could get rid of some of these contracts and it's not going to crush us for next year, I'm okay with it. But Jamie Collins would be the guy I'd say no to just because, like, literally we'd have nobody. And you gotta have somebody. And I've watched every game and I got tired of every single play. Folks, I'm going to tell you what's going to happen here. They're going to hit the middle. Bam, hit them every single time. You got to have somebody. So he'd be the guy I'd say, yeah. But if you want to do that with Trey Flowers, definitely a Nick Williams or some other players, hey, attempt to do it. But if it's the cap hit's going to crush us for next year, and I haven't looked at it for next year, that would be the issue I'd have.
Last time I looked at the cap, where were we at? It was about $70 million. That's what we're going to have to play with. And that was before really about any cuts and all that stuff. So
just need to find out how much if we traded Flowers, how much is that going to cause us against next year's cap?
Oh, like dead cap.
Yeah, the dead cap.
Oh, yeah.
What would that cost?
Yeah. Well,
I don't
next
know
year
that
his
right
dead
now.
cap is a net positive. So we would actually gain
it is?
Yeah, like 10 mil.
Oh,
you'd gain 10 million. Well,
yeah,
then
next year.
Would
now
be
this
something...
year you lose, but next year you gain about like 10 mil.
Yeah, you gain some money next year.
I don't care about this year.
This year, man, not too worried about, man. But this D line is starting to look like it's starting to get really crowded, man. So some guys are going to have to completely step up here, and Deshaun Hand's going to have to be one of them. But what else, guys? What else, guys? What I was hearing a little bit about the OTAs going on through the weekend and coming in the last couple of days, whatever. Perryman's been not looking really good. I guess he's been dropping passes. He looks like he's in decent shape, but doesn't look. Apparently, he's not like built like he once was. So I guess he's dropping passes, running wrong routes.
So Bashad Perriman's doing Bashad Perriman things again.
So Bashad Perriman's doing Bashad Perriman, and this guy's supposed to be our number 2, eh? So what do you guys think about that, Mike? What do you think about Bashad Perriman?
I didn't. Look, as the number 1 job as a wide receiver is a thing called catching the football. You got to catch the football. If you can't catch the football, it's pointless. This wide receiver core is bad, folks. It's bad. It's gonna take another year to build this thing back up. I've been talking about Cephas and Amon-Ra St. Brown. I think they could potentially step up. Cephas could be a sleeper who I have actually as a player who could step up. And I think that, he's not the fastest guy in the world, but he can get open, and that's important. But when it comes to Perryman, he is a journeyman wide receiver that's going from team to team. There's a reason why. And clearly, he's not using Stickum.
No, man. He's got to get a hold of Albert Hayes or whatever his name was from the Raiders back in the day, just like he was doing. But, yeah, that's insane, man. Tone, what do you think about the Perryman situation going on in Detroit?
When I heard about it, I was like, I'm not surprised at all. Rashad Perryman running wrong routes and dropping passes? That's the Rashad Perryman I know. I'm going to say the dude went in the first round because of his speed. That's the only reason. I mean, I think at one point he came out.
Yeah, he ran like a 4.2. He ran like a 4.2 unofficial.
At some point, I was going to say it was a point where he had ran like an unofficial, like 4.22 or something. Like it would have broke the combine record.
Yep.
And we already knew he was super fast. That's why he went in the first round. But the reason he's here in Detroit now is because of the stuff he's already doing. Doesn't run the right routes, drops the passes. So that's when I was watching Mike's auction the other day, and people was like, you know what? These speedy receivers are going to just, force defenses to, spread them out, and then other guys are going to hit them over the middle field. I'm like, these defenses are not going to be worried about these guys. The Lions ain't even worried about these guys. Because you hit them, they probably going to run a wrong route or probably going to drop the ball. Yeah, no matter how fast you are, if you make your route insanely obvious from the get-go, no matter how fast you are, I get an advantage. You can run a 4.3 all you want, but your route running is at a point where if I know you're going to be running an in or a streak, I got the advantage. I already got the advantage. I can take your speed is already kind of nullified because I already know what you're going to do.
Yeah, 100%, man. Travis Doyley, $5 super chat. Who would you like to see the Lions trade for one thing we may trade for? I would like to trade for Tyus Bowser and or Lorenzo Carter. I thought Bowser. Okay, Bowser's the linebacker from Baltimore. I'm not 100% sure. I forget, but Lorenzo Carter. I just did a video on this guy.
I don't think Carter's going anywhere.
Carter's not going anywhere. He's on his last year in New York. Third round guy, linebacker out of Georgia. He wouldn't be a bad guy to grab, but I don't think we could really be trading for guys like that right now. Bowser, maybe, but I'm not sure what we're going to give up for those type of players. What do you think, Mike? Carter's good, but he had a bad injury last year.
Jorge, I appreciate you, man. Just seen your comment there. He says, thanks for your service and our freedom. Today was the best chance to thank you. Well, I appreciate you, Jorge. And hopefully everybody had a great Memorial Day vacation. For the people that passed away, they're the true warriors. They're the only ones they're the only people that's ever seen the end of war, unfortunately. And God bless all them people that's passed on through that time. And it looks like Troxel Sports Talk, $1.99 super chat. Let's get those likes up for Orum'S Den. Absolutely.
Thanks, brother.
Appreciate you, Trox, coming in and having a good time. And hopefully he can get streaming tonight. When it comes to Lions trading for players, I'm going to tell you who I want the Lions to trade for really, really bad. No one. I just don't think it's going to be worth it right now. Let's keep all our draft capital and build this team through the draft. We got a lot of it now. Let's just go ahead till embrace this suck. I don't think we're going to be world beaters. We're not winning the Super Bowl this year. Go into next year's draft and really start to build this team the correct way. We got some holes at linebacker. We can really address that next year. We definitely got holes at wide receiver. We can address that next year with all the capital that we got. So let's not blow ourselves up by getting players. The best thing to do is probably trade away some players.
Yeah, try and get some draft capital.
Honestly, I forget. This is actually a really good question because it reminds me. Actually, at some point, I actually started writing down some guys I would like to see that Lions either kick the bucket on or keep situations to keep an eye on for some big positions. Like for example, a guy I want the Lions to keep an eye on is kind of like Tremaine Edmonds. Linebacker, first round, Bills, Virginia Tech. hasn't really had the best career right now. Right now, he's been a bust. Lions need linebackers. I don't think the Bills going to give up on him yet, just because of the fact that, he's so talented and their defense needs a lot. Guys like him, former guys who are still super talented. I would love to see him go out to guys like that, as long as I'm not giving up much. And as long as I'm not giving up much, like another guy wrote down would be Ed Oliver, but he would have to be like a midfield or next year guy, because the Bills ain't gonna give him on him right now. They need too much at D line. There's another guy I wrote down, D tackle for the Cincinnati Bengals. I love to see him get Rennell Rent. If you have never seen this guy, check out his college tape. He got injured last year, and he didn't play much in his first year. Dude is like 6'4", 315. One of the most explosive dudes I've ever seen. Like, when I tell you this man gets off the ball, it's like insanity how fast he gets off the ball. It's just crazy. He's big, powerful, and at this point, I'm kicking the bucket on a bunch of DTs. There's another guy, Taven Bryant, D tackle, came out of Florida. Some people compare him to JJ Watt. Hasn't really done much in Jacksonville. At this point, I'm kicking the bucket on all DTs, because DT is really a position that's hard to find, right?
100%, man. 100%,
so at this point, I'm trying to find out what I got in everybody else. This year isn't really like Levi and Lil McNeil. I want to see what they can do, but I know they're going to be here next year. I don't know if Deshaun Hand is going to be here next year. So I would love to see us kick the bucket on a few DTs, because it's not really hurting us. And if we find one, we could either trade them or we could keep them for our rotation.
100%, Tone. I got you, brother. Cy Gray, $4.99 super chat. Are you guys nervous about my initial concern trying to flip Sewell from left tackle to right tackle? It's really a tough transition that I never took for granted. We were just talking about that earlier, bro. Personally, I'm not too concerned about it. I know a lot of people are concerned about it, especially Lions fans, obviously. And he's going to struggle. Like we said, we want him to be honest with himself and his teammates and his coaching staff. We don't want him to come in there and say that he's going to just, he has no problems with this. He's got this. At least he's being honest and saying that it's going to be a little bit of a struggle. But this has been done before, bro. Lots of teams have done it, man. Jedrick Wills did it. Ryan Ramczyk from the Saints did it. Conklin from the Titans have done this. They've all done left to right, right to left. So I'm not too worried about it, Mike.
I'm not too worried about it as well. I would rather him be humble than cocky, going in there saying, "Yeah, this is easy." It's coming in here like it's nothing. Like, come on, man, I'm Johnny 8 Ball. So that's definitely not the type of player I want here.
Yeah, I don't want Johnny 8 Ball on the team. You know what I mean? So what do you think, Tone? I know you talked earlier, but I don't think Cy heard you.
I said out of the draft, I think he might struggle a little bit. I said it for multiple reasons, not just because he's flipping from left to right. Only played 2 years in college. Oregon's offense, the Lions' offense and Oregon's offense are kind of very, very similar. Now, if he wouldn't have teamed like the 49ers, the Packers, the Vikings, the teams who run them that kind of outside zone, screen game, those kind of offenses, okay, maybe he fits a little bit more in those offenses. But the Lions' offense is kind of very removed from what Oregon likes to run. Technically wise, he was never the greatest, and he played in the conference where he didn't get a lot of competition other than like a guy on his own team. So in terms of a competition gap, it's going to be huge. In terms of a strategy gap, everything is going to be different, and I expect him to struggle a little bit. Now, I'm not really worried about him struggling. I'm ready to see him bounce back from those struggles. A guy like a lot of the left tackles last year struggled. Andrew Thomas was like the 4th overall pick, and he looked horrible for a few weeks. And then people was like, man, this guy is a bust. I don't know why people call people bust after 1 year, but that's beyond me.
That's what people do, man.
He was looking really bad, and then he had some like, oh, that's why he's the 4th overall pick games, right?
That's it.
Offensive tackles kind of be an up and down street. It's a position that goes high for a reason. It's hard to play the position. It's expected for me.
100%, man. What's going on, Carolina guy? What's going on here? Remember, guys, this is the foundation year of this regime, and the Lions will be signing and trading players to form the foundation, not to win a Super Bowl or make the playoffs. 100% this is the foundation year, man. This is how we're going to build. This is how we got to do it. With the players they're bringing in, this is proof on how this is a foundation year, not re-upping guys like Galladay, giving big money to Marvin Jones, trying to sign a 25-year-old Romeo Okwara, which they did. So that's how you kind of plant a foundation. You get that right side fixed too, hopefully with Sewell, and I think it will be. So yeah, man, we can't be thinking playoffs or Super Bowl, because man, I'm thinking single wins. I'm thinking 5 to 6 wins. So
yeah, same.
And so I just don't see playoffs right now, or possibly maybe not next year. It just all depends on how they look on the field this year. Mike?
I don't see playoffs this year, but unlike last year, I don't see a whole lot of layoffs. I don't see people. I mean, they're 1-year deal. People won't come back. A lot of them won't. But we're not seeing like we seen this offseason where Trufant gone. All these Christian Jones gone. This person gone. That person gone. That was a layoff year. I see this is more of a building, and I think next year's offseason, there's going to be a lot of hype going around this team. They're going to take more of a jump. You're going to have much more of an NFL draft. You're going to have a ton more picks, probably twice the amount, and you're going to have 2 first-round draft picks. This team is going to look much better next year than it is this year.
Oh, 100%. Tone, what do you think?
Yeah, I've been saying this should be a foundation year. This is really just the year to find out what you got. And the young guys who probably didn't get the greatest opportunity, guys who have been injured or you felt like we're put in bad positions. This is their year, right? Rookies, not really worried about you right now. I'm worried about what else I got, and I'm not really worried about last year's rookie, although I want to see what Okudah does, but like Jonah Jackson, like I like to see what he's doing, but I'm not really worried about him. I'm kind of worried about guys like Hand, Tavai, Harris, probably even Tracy Walker, guys who have either shown something that give us a little bit of confidence in them to show they can play, or guys who just haven't shown anything at all. Right? That's who I'm focused on.
Yeah,
for this year. We need to find out what they can.
And Jared Goff.
Yeah. Like we need to find
Jared
out.
Goff. We got to see how Goff is going to do with a lot of adversity coming his way, because he's in for a world of hurt, I think, man, right now with this wide receiver core, man.
I don't think I'm gonna say I don't know how great Josh he's gonna do, because even though I'm not the greatest fan of him, that receiving core is not giving me a lot of confidence.
It's bad.
It is not like we have ours.
Yeah, 100%.
And it's not like we have like an Andy Reid or a guy you say, well, he's so good with receiving. We got Anthony Lynn. His calling card is running the ball, and I think that's going to help him. But what happens when a team is up 14-0 and we can't run the ball? Now Jared Goff has to pass, and it's like, man, those receivers are not it. I just don't know.
Yeah, and it's difficult with this bad defense. I mean, this defense has still got a lot of holes, safety and linebacker. So if a team does get up on you, like you said, 14-0, do you expect Brashard Perryman and Tyrell Williams to light it up?
Yeah.
Oh, it's going to be a little bit difficult.
You expect guys like Quintez Cephas to be this guy, this go-to guy, man, in year 2, when we're down 14, 17 points, 21 points, man. Jared Goff, I think he's in a lot of his eyes are going to be wide open this year, man. He better this O-line better block for him.
I think they will. I think that's going to be the offensive line in the running game is going to be superb, and I think that's going to be what holds this down. And TJ Hockenson.
But I started thinking about
these are foundational pieces that this team really can build upon.
Yeah,
I mean it's good. I mean, I really like the offensive line, the running game, TJ Hockenson.
But I did think about this.
Yeah,
what's to stop teams from like blitzing us?
Well, yeah.
Because if I'm a team, now a lot of teams don't blitz. A lot of teams don't blitz because I'm worried. It's zero. Let's say a lot of teams start running some cover zero against us. You're gonna be worried about the wide receiver beating you. But in Detroit, I'm not worried about any of these wide receivers beating me other than Hawk, and I can bracket him.
Yeah, man. Hey, man, if I'm a D coordinator and I'm coming in to play the Detroit Lions, what I'm doing is I'm stopping the run. That's my goal. I'm going to make Jared Goff throw the football.
You have to
and it's not a shot on Goff, and it's not a shot on Goff at all. But it's a shot on these wide receivers, man. I'm going to make Goff and these wide receivers beat me. Hawk, you're already going to have trouble with Hawk. I think you're already going to have trouble with him. He could be a problem for defenses, understood. But these wide receivers, I'm going to make them beat me. I'm going to stop the run, and I'm going to make those wide receivers beat me, man. And I just think it's going to be trouble, man.
I'm going to make those masters beat me.
You know, those masters beat me 100%. You know what I mean? So it has to happen, man. But with the blue and silver comment here, they could have afforded Galladay by backloading the contract with a signing bonus. No, you don't backload nothing but Galladay. They don't want to be here, bro. You know, that's not the way you do. You don't backload stuff.
We don't need him.
We don't need him in a rebuild, man. It's just, like, we don't need him. He wanted too much money. He got way overpaid by the Giants.
Yep. Panthers or Carolina guy says, what do you think the Panthers' record will be in 2021?
What's their schedule look like, brother? I don't think they're going to be very good. They're going to struggle because I'm still kind of not sold on Darnold, even though I think he got a little bit of a raw deal in New York.
But, I think it might be a playoff team, maybe.
You think
so? 8 wins.
Here's
Christian McCaffrey.
I don't even know what their schedule looks like, man.
Sam Darnold.
I think they
McCaffrey better stay healthy. If he doesn't, they're in trouble.
They got a good number 2 though, too.
They had a decent year last year. The thing about it is the team is talented. It's really just Sam Darnold.
Well, who are the wide receivers there? Robbie Anderson? Who else?
Anderson, CJ. No, it's not CJ Moore. DJ Moore.
DJ Moore.
And I think they drafted the guy from LSU. The guy from LSU.
Terrace?
Yeah, Terrace Marshall. They drafted him. So the receiving core is nice. They got CMC. They drafted Chuba Hubbard. Offensive line is pretty solid. They drafted Brady Christensen out of BYU, and they kept Taylor Moton. So their O-line is solid. And the thing about Darnold is I'm worried, is he just ruined? Because, you know, you put a guy around enough trash and enough bad things happen to a guy. He's kind of who he is at this point. He was stuck with we talk about the Lions as a bad organization. The Jets were the worst organization in the league for a very long time. Like he was in new with the Jets, had one weapon. His name was Robbie Anderson. And the Jets was like, how about we let this guy go in free agency for cheap? He was there for weeks. His contract went down because the amount of teams wanted him wasn't that many. He was just put in the most horrible situation ever. So I'm just wondering, is he just stuck now? Like, is he just going to be a trash guy? You put a guy in a bad situation enough times, he kind of is what he is. Now, at the same time, I trust the offense coordinator. Think he should be. He probably will be a head coach next year.
Think so? Yeah,
because a lot of teams seem to have the opinion of, let's see what he do next year. Although I don't understand that, because if you already like him, then just get him this year. I didn't understand that. But Joe Brady, that man is nice, and
yeah, man,
the pieces around him are nice.
He's the talk of the town, man. That is true. Joe Brady is the talk of the town, and if he can do some things in the NFL, he'll be a head coach. 100%. I agree with that. This one's directed at you, though, Tom. Blue and silver. Antonio, if Galladay finishes with top 10 stats this year, will you admit he's top 10, I'm assuming, wide receiver?
Galladay will never be a top 10 wide receiver in my eyes.
Okay.
And the reason why and the problem with Galladay is he's kind of moving down the list. Right.
I bet now he is because of his because what he did in Detroit is last year, 100%.
Yep. And then all the wide receivers, because I said it last year. I was like, you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if there's a few rookies that look better than him. And CeeDee Lamb, when Dak was healthy, was looking amazing. We already saw what Justin Jefferson was doing.
That New York offense, though, bro, and Giants, man, it's looking nice. It all depends on Danny Dimes, though. It all depends on the turnover machine.
Like, I think Galladay is going to put up good stats, but good stats doesn't make you a good receiver in my eyes. I'm all about performance.
100%. Yes.
Yeah, I'm all about performance, not production. Not the same.
Yeah. Mike, what do you think about Galladay, brother?
I think Kenny Galladay is not a Detroit Lion, and I don't really care what he does too much, for the New York Giants. I don't think the Giants are going to win their division this year. It's a little bit tough with Washington football team and Dallas Cowboys. So, yeah, man. Hopefully he can stay healthy through 17 games.
Yeah. There's another thing that I saw too with the Jelani Tavai thing, and we fell for this last year, guys, with the Jared Davis coming in looking like Greek Adonis, looking like an Adonis, man, looking phenomenal, man, shredded, cut his weight down, looked quick, did all that stuff, man, looked like he was the part, and we all saw what Jared Davis did. Now it's the Jelani Tavai show. All of a sudden, he's lost 17 pounds. He wants to get down to eventually, I guess, 235, 240. Personally, I am not buying a word of it because I got sunk into that last year, man, with the Jared Davis thing, man. And I feel sorry for myself for that, man. So silly of me. I can't fall for it. Well, what about you guys? Mike?
I'll give
or Tone, you go first. Tone, you go first.
Go ahead, Tone.
Well, here's the thing. I'll give Tavati the benefit of doubt for now because a lot of times when I watch Tavati, I'm like,
right.
Imagine that guy with like Jared Davis' athleticism. Jared Davis, guy played football with his eyes closed. I'm sorry. That man, I don't know what he was.
He did.
You know, when I had NFL Game Pass and it was for free, and I was just watching games. And I remember,
right.
And this play has been stuck in my mind. There's a few plays.
Well,
it was against the Bears. It was 6 in the box. 6. It was 5-on-6. Everybody is covered. Christian Jones takes on the last lineman, and Jared Davis runs the wrong way. Nobody's blocking you. Where are you going?
What do you mean? He just ran the wrong way? What do you mean?
Like
play goes this way, he goes that way?
The run was going to the right, and he just ran to the left. I'm like, your only job was to get him, and you failed at that. I remember one time I was watching the Chiefs game.
That's funny, man.
I was watching the Chiefs game, and it was like a 3-man rush, right? Blah, blah, blah. And everybody is covering their man well. Jared Davis was covering Travis Kelce. And at some point, Jared Davis was like, you know what? I'm not supposed to be good in coverage. Let me just go do something else. I'm like,
yeah.
And now Travis Kelce's just wide open. I'm like, this man is not playing football. Like, he's playing Madden. I don't know what he's doing.
Oh, he's in New York now.
And Jelani Tavai, I forget what game it was, but it was a touchdown pass, and they threw it to, I think it was a tight end or a receiver, and he was 7 yards off from the guy. There was nobody around. There's the person who received the ball, and Jelani Tavai was 7 yards off, and I'm just like, this guy needs to go. Like, this was the worst coverage I've ever seen in my entire life. How could you possibly be 7 yards off?
Because he was 268 pounds.
Oh, no. God.
Playing linebacker. That's what Patricia had him at.
Christian Jones had a moment like that, too, against the Eagles. He was guarding somebody. I don't know who it was.
Well, Christian Jones did that for a living.
My God.
He was like 15 yards off. Luckily for him, the receiver dropped the pass. But I was like, I wasn't even mad at him. I was like, why is he in coverage against that guy in the first place?
Yeah. But this is the thing, man. I'm going to give Jelani Tavai. I'm going to give him props for finally, losing some weight, man. Playing at 268 pounds, and I know your coach wanted you to do that at one point, man. But at one point, you got to speak up or something, man, or even go to the media, man, and complain about it or something. Like, if you don't feel comfortable playing at 268, you need to tell somebody. You can't be playing middle linebacker at 268, man. You can't be doing that. So thank God that
you can if your coach is good.
Is gone. What's that?
You can if your coach is good. Well, Dante
Hightower is good. Yeah.
Dante Hightower is like 260, 270. Problem is, Belichick don't put him in coverage like that.
Hightower is a great linebacker, though. He's a very solid linebacker.
And Belichick don't even really put him in coverage like that.
Right. Exactly, man.
I think the defense is just going to get better off getting Glenn as well. Even look, I want Jelani Tavai to succeed so bad because we wasted a second-round draft pick. We decided not to get DK Metcalf. Okay, so you needs to pan out. Okay, but if you do another, I'm gonna give you one game. If I see another 7 yards off, you're done, man. You're Christian Jones to me. That's it, man.
Right.
There's no coming back when you become a name. When you become the Christian Jones, you're off my list, man. So hopefully he can get better. Kenneth Womack with the
What's up,
avatar.
brother?
Love it, man.
Look at him,
And
man.
if you
Looking
ain't
like
got
a
an
pimp.
avatar in there, you best get some avatars. We got Kel in there, the Carolina guy. Get some avatars.
Get some avatars in there, guys. Get some avatars, man. Kenneth Womack saying, though, what's your guys' prediction on who will win the NFC West? Yeah, because we like to talk other NFL teams too, brother. Of course. I like the 49ers if they can all stay out of the hospital. Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
Tough division.
And the NFC West, I bet
Tough.
possibly the best division of football, right,
It is,
Mike?
the best. This is hands down the best division in football. All four of them teams could make the playoffs legitimately.
All four of those teams.
I would say the AFC North, but the problem is I don't trust anybody else other than Joe Burrow.
Exactly, right? Like, it's hard to trust Baker. It's really hard to trust a beat-up Ben Roethlisberger. You don't really know what's going on there.
I'll throw a curveball. Arizona.
Arizona?
Yeah.
You know what? I'm gonna say the Rams, man. I'm going to say the
Seattle
Rams.
too, 49ers.
San Fran. Tone, who do you think?
Flip a coin.
I got 49ers. They got the best team in the division and the best coach in the division.
When does Trey Lance start? That could definitely be a change too.
That's a good question.
I think he's going to
early. He can really destroy defenses, man. That dude's special.
I think Trey Lance will start whenever they feel like he's ready.
You think he's going to start week 1 versus us? You guys think he's going to start?
No, I don't think week 1.
I don't think so either.
I don't think so. I think they're going to try to bring him in slowly. And I mean, at this point, like, it's not like Jimmy G's bad. He just can't stay healthy. So at this point, he don't really have to go in. I don't need him to be a superhero. He got drafted for the reason they lost the Super Bowl, because I need a quarterback who can make those throws. And Jimmy G's not really that quarterback. I don't need Trey Lance now. Now in the playoffs, I might need him. So he might start starting at the end of the season, but now I don't need him. But I had to put the 49ers. That team is probably the most talented roster in the division. Got the best head coach in the division. Arizona, I got questions about Kyler. The Rams, I don't really have questions about anybody. It's just the problem is I like the 49ers more, right? As much as I like Sean McVay.
Yeah, 100%.
Kyle Shanahan. Like, as much as I like Sean McVay, Kyle Shanahan is that dude.
Julio Jones may get traded to Seattle too. They're one of the teams. You had Julio Jones and DK Metcalf out there. Good Lord.
Yeah, I heard Julio to Seattle. I heard LA was in the mix, but I think they've gotten themselves out of it now. Who else? Tennessee, New England for Julio. So if he goes to Seattle, though, yikes. My goodness, man. Him and Metcalf, like you said, that's scary, bro.
I'd have to give the odds to Seattle than winning the division. They went 13-3 last year.
Yeah, that was scary.
That'd be scary.
What would be more scarier is when a team sends a 3-man rush and somehow gets to Russell Wilson in 3 seconds. With that
O-line. That's right, though, bro. It's true, man. Kel says here, too, I noticed the Lions recruiting big receivers. Does this have something to do with the division, or is this what Holmes and Campbell want? Well, my take on that is that we're bringing in big receivers just because I don't think we really have any good wide receivers, man. So the more the merrier. It's good to have big guys, though. You need guys for the red zone. You need chain movers. So we got some speedsters on the team already. So these big guys we brought in, like a Surratt and an Adams, who I like a lot, and McKinley, who they gave a lot of money to come in, are big but not fast. But they're red zone guys, so who knows? Mike, what do you think about those guys?
I've seen a lot of speed receivers that they brought in. I think they're kind of focusing on that really right now. But in all honesty, man, the receiver core is a mess right now. And ask me this question next year after the NFL draft, because then we'll have a really idea what type of receivers they're wanting to get. Because right now it's just I guess it would be putting the toys on a island in the Misfits, the island of Misfits right now of the wide receiver core.
Yeah, what do you think about that, Tone? About the wide receiver core that we're trying to bring in here, the big guys, the speedsters, whoever you want to talk about. I
mean, I'm not surprised. Holmes said he wanted to run the ball, so he brought in a bunch of wide receivers that's going to run block. It's not surprising. I kind of expected, because I was like, when I start looking at all the wide receivers we're bringing in, all the undrafted players, I was like, what? A lot of these guys, when you look at the scouting report, they're like, shows a lot of effort run blocking. I'm like, okay, I see what they're trying to do here. I don't know how it's going to work in the pass game, but they're gonna be great run blocking. Now, on 3rd and 8, you probably just close your eyes and just hope one of them does something. But man, it'll look great when you run block it.
100%, brother. Travis Doyley, $5 super chat. Thank you, my man. Any of the undrafted players we added that you think can make the team? Undrafted guys that we brought in, I really like. I like Tommy Kramer for the right
man.
guard. I think he's getting some good pub right now. I'll say one other guy. So maybe Sage Surratt, wide receiver. You guys, Mike?
Well, you know what? You might as well just, it might be an echo because I was saying Tommy Kramer and Sage Surratt. Tommy Kramer, man. I knew we picked this guy up. We picked this guy up, and he was a 4-year starter for the Fighting Irish, and he comes in here, and I think he's already in the second team. Was he already in the second team in OTAs?
Yeah, man, he's already getting reps, man. He's getting big reps already, yes.
And that was a great pickup for an undrafted rookie. And Sage Surratt, yeah, I think he has a potential of making the roster because I don't think Geronimo Allison's going to be on the final 53.
Yeah. Tone, who do you think, man, out of the UDFAs, man? Who do you think is going to possibly be a Detroit Lion?
Well, the most obvious for me, well, I shouldn't say that's obvious. My favorite is probably Jonathan Adams, but the guy the guy I think has the best chance of making the team is probably going to be Drake Jackson.
The backup center?
Yeah, I'm gonna say there's not really a lot of competition for the backup center. Not like there's pretty much none. The only one we would have had would have been that one guy.
Evan Brown.
Yeah, like that's pretty much it. Stenberg is a guard. And the only other dude we had at the backup center last year, he's gone. So it's just like easy pickings, and he's good enough to be our backup center. I think he's in terms of the one who's gonna make the team, he's probably him. But my favorite will probably be Jonathan Adams.
Okay, man, I like him too, man. He's a big kid, 6'3", 220. I did some study on that kid, man. Watched a couple of game films when I did my video on him. He is a big boy, man. He's a big boy, and he makes the circus catch. And he's a monster. He's almost unguardable in the red zone. So, and he's very, very physical in the run game too. Loves the block. So
that reminds me.
Well, you got somebody else there, Tom?
No, I'm supposed to be watching some Levi film. I heard Levi film was dropping today. I know how to see that.
Oh, nice, man. Right on.
Been on for a little bit, fellas, but I got to get going because it's nearly 8 o'clock. And I appreciate everyone coming outside. Gray, I know you want to talk about Jonathan Adams. You should have came on to talk about your guy, Jonathan Adams. Make sure, everybody, you hit that like button for my buddy here, Mark Orm from Orum's Forum. He's dropping a lot of quality content. So make sure you hit that like button. That's how this stream gets out. He's going against quite a bit of people out there, so it's important to help him out. And if you are listening, and there's 42, and if you're not subscribed to Mark Orum, subscribe to his channel. We want to get this man to 2,000 subscribers before the NFL season starts. Hey, Tone, appreciate hanging out for a little bit. Mark, appreciate it. Everybody out there, talk to you.
Thanks, Mikey.
See you, Mike.
That's funny because I was just about to wrap it up soon, but we can stay on for a little bit longer if you want, man. Is there anything else you want to talk about, Tone? Is there anything on your mind? I didn't really write too much down today, brother. Yeah, you got anything going on?
I guess I could talk about Perryman. I guess I could talk about a list of guys I'd like to see the Lions be interested in looking at, or the situations I think the Lions should just pay attention to. I already said guys like Ronell Rand, Tremaine Edmonds, Ed Oliver, David Njoku. Tight end room is pretty barren of talent, and that guy is still super talented. I don't know what was going on with him last year. Apparently, he asked for a trade, and then apparently he did it. And either way, they don't really need him.
Austin Hooper, right?
Yeah, they brought in Hooper, and they drafted Harrison Bryant. I was like, they don't really need him. Send him to Detroit. One thing I really want to see, I want to see us get another tight end to pair with TJ, right? It's part of the reason I wanted us to get up Pitts, or if the other guy, I forget his name, from Penn State, and went to the Steelers. Freiermuth. I was like, if he fell to the third,
I love that guy.
Like if he fell to the third, I'd look at him, right? Because I want to find a guy who next to TJ And I don't want to just find a number 2. I want to find a guy like there's a lot of tight ends who have like, oh yeah, this guy could be a good number 2 for you. I want a tight end who could be a good number 1 for me. I got 2 number 1s next to me, both athletic, both can run block, and both you got to worry about in the pass game. If one is gone, I mean, they're both number 1s, so you got to worry about them both either way. That's the kind of situation I want. So I'd look at a guy like him, Dawson Knox. I don't know what the situation is with the Bills. He'd be a perfect fit next to TJ. Dude is super athletic, can run block. I doubt they give him up. Another tight end, Foster Moreau, backup tight end for the Raiders. Another Raiders like to use a lot of back dual tight ends. He's another one of those guys, athletic, can run block. In terms of some D linemen, I already said Rennell Wren. Another guy, Jerry Tillery, hasn't really done much in terms of the NFL. He was kind of like he was on the Kinlaw before Kinlaw, the super big athletic D tackle. Hasn't really done much. He was compared to like Chris Jones. Hasn't really done much for the Chargers. I know they played him at edge last year, and he had some more success there. They try to make him a little bit more like Calais Campbell. Hasn't worked out so far. Just kicking the bucket on some older D-line guys. Another guy, I kind of said him earlier, but I go to a little bit more depth. Taven Bryant, D-tackle, came out of Florida. He's like 6'5", 287, if I remember. Super athletic, super explosive. Some people compare it to J.J. Watt. He's kind of like J.J. Watt, but not as quick. He's kind of like current J.J. Watt if he's more explosive, is basically the way to describe him. Super powerful. Problem is technique has never really been there. His athleticism is always flash, but technique's never been there. In Jacksonville, hasn't really done much, but at the same time, just kicking the bucket on some D tackles. Another guy, Tristan Hill, or I say him because Dallas has
Tristan Hill. That's the guy he was on the Cowboys.
Yep, Cowboys got him. The thing about it is, Cowboys drafted him. They drafted Gallimore last year, and they drafted Osa Odigizua this year. All 3 of them play the same position.
Oh boy! Okay, so they're loaded there.
So some got to shake. One of them 3 got to be gone, and I'd probably bet on Hill since he's the oldest and he's been injured. He's super explosive. We need. I mean, D tackle. I love Levi. I love Alil McNeil. But if I can get a chance as a talented guy for cheap, I'm taking the chance.
For sure.
Yeah.
Can't have too many D tackles, man.
Yeah. Another linebacker. Another guy from the Cowboys, actually, Jalen Smith or Leighton Vander Esch. And those 2 would be cheap for different reasons. Jalen Smith would be cheap because his plays got worse, and Leighton Vander Esch could be cheap. I think he's hitting free agency next year. We need a linebacker, and while injured, he's always been really good. And when he's healthy, Cowboys defense looks good. But when he's not healthy, it looks bad. So that can tell you just how good of a player he is. Yeah. And you could either cheat for him this year. They drafted Micah, so I doubt they're like, if Micah looks good, I feel like his trade value is going to be low. Or you could sign him next year, give him a really incentive-based contract. Like, well, if you get injured, then this, and this, just to get yourself, save yourself. You don't really need. It's not going to be that many big guys in free agency next year, so you might as well kick the bucket on a guy who's still sort of young. There's a few corners I think we can look at. Isaiah Oliver, I think he was a 2018 second-round pick, first-round pick by the Falcons. He came out.
He was a second-round pick. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. By the Falcons when he came out, he was kind of like the athletic guy with super long arms who just didn't know how to cover yet, and he still doesn't know how to cover it. I'd love to see him in Detroit. See our DB coach can coach him up. We don't. The cornerback room. We got Okuda, but Awarie, I think this is his 3rd or 4th year, so we don't know what's going on with him. Yeah, and we don't really have Melifonwu might end up being a safety, so I don't know what's going on with him. For some old linemen, I've been saying I wanted a guard. I wanted them to trade. I wanted them to draft Trey Smith just because I feel like that would make us the most talented offensive line probably in history, because you would have at least 4 or 5 guys who could be Pro Bowlers.
It'd be crazy.
And with Ragnow and Sewell, you're talking about guys who could be superstars. But another guy, a guy who is a guard, Will Hernandez, guard for the New York Giants. Super talented. Dude is insanely powerful. He came out of that same draft class as Quentin Nelson. I wanted the Vikings to draft him. I thought the Vikings should have drafted him, and it started like they really should have. Dude is insanely powerful. And if you want to run the ball, getting Will Hernandez will really help you run the ball. He got benched last year. He hasn't looked as good since his rookie season. And And the thing about it is, I don't trust the Giants when it comes to offensive linemen. So I want to get him in my room with my offensive line coach and see what I can do with him. Probably wouldn't take much. They benched him. If he doesn't start this year, you can really get him for cheap. A linebacker we can look at, Blake Cashman, linebacker for the New York Jets. When he came college play for Minnesota. I think he was 3rd round pick. Super athletic, smart linebacker. He pretty much has everything except he's been injured. And it's kind of like, I mean, he's just been injured, and the Lions need to take as many chances on linebackers as they can. Another guy, Voshawn Joseph. Okay, wait. Go Lion. Which young safety from Cleveland are you talking about? You talking about Delpit, or are you talking about Ronnie Harrison? Because he's got to
be talking about Harrison.
Yeah.
No. Delpit, they just drafted him, didn't they?
Yeah, they drafted Delpit last year. Then they picked up what's his name, John Johnson in free agency.
They picked up John.
So,
they did. Okay.
I don't know what's going on
from the Rams.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
So
okay.
either one of them, I'd be interested in. We kind of need a box safety. He'd basically be like slower. He kind of be like Will Hernandez, but established. Like Will Hernandez doesn't really. I mean, not Will Hernandez. Will Harris. Like Will Harris is supposed to be a run support safety, but he's not that great at run support, right? And Harrison, I know if I get Harrison, that man is going to be a thumper in the run. Now he probably ain't going to cover nobody, but I don't need him on 3rd downs.
Right.
If I get him for cheap, I'd love him for cheap. If I get him for cheap, it'd be a good pickup. Another guy actually from the Browns I was going to bring up, Greedy Williams. Browns have
Greedy.
Yep. They picked up Troy Hill in free agency. He's been pretty solid. And they drafted Greg Newsome. So they have 4 corners. One of them got to go. And it's really
you might see some of these guys go tomorrow, bro, because June 2nd, man, is when possibly there could be cuts. So
one of them
might
guys
see some of these guys getting going.
Yeah, and if I had to bet on anybody out of Newsome and Greedy Williams, I'd bet on Greedy. He hasn't shown he can stay healthy, Greedy has so many, because when Greedy first came out, he was originally considered like the number 1 corner over Byron Murphy for the Cardinals from Washington. And the thing about Greedy was everybody was like, man, this guy looks great. And then everybody was like, but does he love football? It's like they don't know if he really likes football. And then once LSU was eliminated from like getting to the playoffs, apparently his play dropped off. So he started questioning how much he really liked football. Drops to the 2nd, and then he hasn't really done much in Cleveland. He still has the talent to be a true lockdown corner. He's got the talent. And if I'm the Lions, I mean, I'm not going to give up much. They got 4 guys who can start. So one of those guys got to go. So if it's him, go to the Lions. Lions running back corner room isn't very filled. It's not a bad just not a bad pickup. OJ Howard, like I was talking about tight ends earlier.
Oh yeah, there's lots of guys, man.
That guy is like, you want to talk about people calling like TJ like the best tight end prospect in years before, we got Pitts.
Right.
Howard was supposed to be that guy.
He was supposed to be the guy, yeah.
He was like, I don't know how to explain it. Because I watched him at Alabama. I'm an Alabama fan. And the dude is insanely athletic. Like, he's like if you took, I don't know. It's like you took who's the super athlete? It's like you took Kelsey's athleticism and gave him Kittle's run blocking. That's what he was supposed to be coming out of college. Woo. And he has not been that guy at all. A lot of that's been injuries. A lot of that's been they haven't used him. I mean, they picked up Gronk. Cameron Brate was pretty good for them for like, he was like a really good tight end for them for years. So part of his opportunity, part of it has just been disappointment. Part of it's been injuries. Part of it is opportunity. So in Detroit, they don't really need him. They got Gronk. Just sit in Detroit. Let him and TJ develop together. Campbell is a former tight end and a tight end coach. TJ, he's getting. I don't know if y'all heard about this new tight end thing they're putting together. It's Kelsey, Kittle, and Olsen. It's like a whole. I forget what it's called.
Oh it's like the tight end school.
Yep, tight end school.
The tight end school. Yep. Ebron's in it too. And
TJ's going there. Sadly, my heart broke when I heard this. Kyle Pitts is going there. So I was like, dang, that man is gonna go crazy. But TJ, him and OJ. If you can get OJ's potential out of there, which I like Brad Holmes, and one thing I know about Brad Holmes could coach up a tight end. He did it with Adam Troutman. He did it with Jared Cook. He helped Jared Cook.
Oh yeah,
Cook
man.
finally reach his potential because everybody's like, man, is he ever gonna just not be? Like be something better than what he is? And I think Campbell could really do that. PJ Hall, D tackle. He came out of he was drafted by the Raiders, I think. So Raiders defensive players doesn't really go right. It's just how it works. The Raiders don't develop defensive good at all. It's just I don't know what it is. They must have bad luck. It's the only way to explain it. Because every time they draft a defensive player, it just doesn't work. Or a lot of times they'll just use them wrong. Like I forget who the guy was for the Rams. Free safety. He was like a super small dude. He's like 5'8".
The big hitter. He's a big hitter.
Yeah, he's kind of like he's small, but like he's a big of a thumper.
Yeah, man, I can't think of his name. I know who you're talking about though, man.
Like he broke out. He was a slot corner, and he broke out by playing safety. And then he gets to the Raiders. There's like, well, how about you play slot corner again? He's like, I'm sorry, you just drafted him to put him back in. You signed him to put him back in the same position that he wasn't that amazing at.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, that's what you're thinking is. I'm like, man, Gruden.
Man.
I don't know what they're doing in Oakland.
Well, Kel's saying here, do you guys know that Earl Thomas is available at safety? We could get him dog cheap on a 1-year deal. Nobody really wants him after that incident in Baltimore. Big risk though. I don't want anything to do with Earl Thomas, man. I heard he's an absolute cancer in the locker room, man. Something happened to him, man. He was going through some bad stuff with his wife and all that stuff, and he just turned another flip, man. I don't know. He just flipped out. I don't want nothing to do with Earl Thomas, man. You, Tom?
I don't want him at all.
Nah.
It takes a lot for a deep.
He was good.
Yeah, he was good, but then it was like he's not worth what he like. It's like, well, he's a headache, and he's not good enough to be the headache that he is.
Yeah, he's toxic,
Ravens,
man. He's
toxic. The Ravens kind of like, and the Ravens, they're kind of like one of the gold standard organizations. So they'll do things that other teams wouldn't do. But they said we'd rather try to find another guy who can fill your position than have you in our locker room, and that tells me a lot. That says a lot about a player, right? That says a lot about a player. Also, Maurice Hurst went to the 49ers.
Yeah.
So, man, he would have been a good pickup for us too. But he
would have been nice, man. He would have been nice, man. To pick. I thought they might have took a shot.
But DT room is still pretty solid at the moment. I would love to see his add to it. But I mean, I can't hate how it is. Levi. I don't think he's gonna. I think he's gonna be like a little bit like Sewell. It's gonna take a little bit to get used to it. He didn't play last year. Pac-12 was kind of weird, so I don't even know. Like there was some guys who just opted out just to do it, but like the Pac-12 situation last year was so weird. It was even weirder than like the Big 12. The Big 12 was like, well, we're not gonna play. Then it's like, you know what? Maybe we might play because SEC was just kind of like, we're playing. I don't know what y'all are doing, but we're playing.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And it was, and at first people was like, why is the SEC doing this? This putting them in a bad position. And what it ended up doing was whenever a game would get canceled due to COVID, they had enough time to fill that game, and they didn't end up like the Big 12 did, where Ohio State was in a situation like they didn't even play enough games to qualify for their conference championship.
Wow,
like, how do you let that situation happen? But that's just Big 12 for you. But yeah, he opted out, went to the Senior Bowl. He was only there for one day. I don't really know what happened with that. He looked on and off. He was playing against some top talent too. The ones I saw, he was up against mostly the guy who went to the Chiefs, Oklahoma center. I forget his name, Creed Humphrey. He's going against Creed Humphrey.
Yeah.
And he was going against Quentin Menierez a lot of the time. So he was going to get some good guys. And he was beating them. He got beat a little bit. It's kind of what you expect when you go against some of the top guys. I don't want you, as long as you don't get destroyed, especially because he hasn't played in a real game in a year. So he kind of looked a little rusty. I'm glad to see what he can do here. Liam McNeil, super athletic D tackle. He played at like 340, dropped
Oh yeah, for sure.
20 pounds. And and it's weird because like he's like, if he was like 290 or 300, he'd be more athletic than Levi. That's how athletic this guy is. Like, this guy is insanely athletic. I think he could be like a Kenny. Well, I shouldn't say Kenny Gallard.
For sure.
I think he could be a top nose tackle. I would say a guy like Kenny Clark, but then Kenny Clark is more of like Liam McNeil is kind of like this. Oh, he's super big, but he's super athletic. You know, not the longest arms in the world. Powerful legs. But then, I was going to say Kenny Clark. But the thing about Kenny Clark is that dude has boulders for hands. He hits you, you go backwards.
He's got that hand punch.
Playing 310 and 315 at nose tackle and two gapping, that man is insanely strong. But I think Liam McNeil could be a top nose tackle and give you some real good pass rush. It's part of the reason I wish we had a guy like Isaiah Simmons. Man. It is also one of the reasons I wish we had Isaiah Simmons. And it's not a shot against Okuda, but then
no, I know. I'm
in a mindset now, and I want to be in a situation where I can adjust to whatever the offense does without changing my personnel.
Right.
So if I got Simmons out there, I can have him as my slot corner, as my deep safety, or as my linebacker. If I got Levi out there, pass rushing down, so he could be my 1, he could be my 3, he could be my 4. Same thing with Liam McNeil. So that's one reason I just want Simmons, because I'm at a point now where I'm like, I want to be in a position where I can, anytime you switch your personnel, I'm ready for it. I don't need to take any of my guys out. And if I'm in a situation where, it's 3rd and 2, and I can't take out my run defensive guys, well, my run defense guys can rush the passer too. So you still not going to do much. That's kind of where I'm at. Yeah. So that's part of the reason why I wanted Simmons. I mean, last year.
Simmons was my guy coming out too last year, bro. That was the guy that I wanted to come out to start this linebacking core in Detroit, man, and start building something. We needed some linebackers, and I thought that guy would have been a really nice addition last year. And I'm not trying to dog on Okuda either. It's just that I think Simmons would have been the better pick, man. I think he was. He started playing really better. He started playing a lot better at the end of the year in Arizona, man. Because he struggled mightily, but he's going to be a good one, I think, man.
Yeah, Simmons and Okuda were tied for me as prospects, but the thing about it was, I was like, I don't get either one of them, but I knew they would take Okuda just because of Patricia's scheme. Now, if I had to choose one of them outside of scheme, I'm choosing Simmons. But if I had to choose one because of the scheme, I got to go with Okuda because that's what you need in that scheme. It's part of the reason the scheme never worked. If you're going to run that Patriots scheme, you got to have a good corner. First thing the Dolphins did was what? Signed the guy from Dallas. Signed him.
Yeah.
Re-signed Xavier Howard. And look at the wonders it did. The Lions tried to sign Richard Sherman. He was like, nah, I don't want to go there. He was out there rolling around with Mario Warrior and Jeff Okuda. It was like, yeah, that can be good. But the Patriots running around there with what they got. The Dolphins doing what they got. And then look what the Lions what they got. I'm like, did you really expect that to work? It really wasn't going to work.
Exactly, brother, man. Well, man, you know what? It's been good, man. Tone, you're spitting fire. You took right over there, brother, man. That was awesome, man. What do you got to say to the people? Because I'm going to be taking off. I got to go visit the family now, buddy. So what do you got to say?
It was great coming out here with you guys today. It was a bunch of stuff I was ready to talk about. You know, some stuff it's a bunch of stuff I still want to talk about.
You're fired up today, brother. You were fired up today. It's good.
I didn't even get into my whole, it's not really a Stafford thing. It's really how we talk about quarterbacks thing. Because when we was talking about, I was in Mike's stream and everybody was like, they was like, QB wins. I mean, team wins are QB wins and this about QBs. And I've never been on the point. It was a few things. Like I saw somebody said, we had a top receiver for years and didn't win anything. I was like, well, the Packers have had a top QB for years and they've won like one Super Bowl in a decade. So does that mean you don't draft QBs? No. It just means when you get one, you build around them better than you did before. You don't use the past. The past should influence your current decisions, but it shouldn't be the main reason for your current decision. You don't pass up like with the Lions. They didn't pass up on Calvin just because they missed on was it Charles Rogers wasn't a wide receiver. It was Mike Williams. What was
Mike
it? The wide
Williams?
receiver? They drafted 2 wide
Mike
receivers in the
Williams.
first round before Calvin. And they
Oh, yeah.
those good. And they was like, well, we might have missed on 2 wide receivers, but those guys aren't big enough. That's not gonna stop me from drafting Calvin Johnson. Same thing
For
with
sure,
TJ.
man.
He was like, we might have
I hear you,
drafted
brother.
Perryman and we might have drafted Ebron, but that's not enough for me to not draft TJ Hawkinson. So you don't
100%.
let the
Let's save
past-
that energy for next Tuesday, bro. We'll talk about that more. We'll talk about that more for sure, brother. But I gotta go, man. Travis Doyley. Bye. Can I get a one pride? One pride. All right,
One
guys. Thanks for tuning in, man. Don't forget to subscribe to our channels. Tone, you dropping any videos lately or no? You haven't been doing that yet, eh?
I might have to. I just started.
Okay.
I mean, I
videos,
started.
man.
Yeah.
Drop some
might have to.
videos. Okay. I got a video coming out on about the Sewell situation. I'll drop it tomorrow. I'm not doing it now. I'm too tired. I'm going to go hang out with the family, man. But thanks a lot, guys, and peace.